first 5 seconds of airtime be a little bit awkward. Sometimes.
Really ain't gotta be.
Well, I just wanted to start this episode off with just a little bit of music. Yeah, that was just a beautiful, just some music that touched my soul. And I wanted to start, I felt like I've been disconnected from my audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Welcome to episode 101.
A shiny new season begins.
I am your goddamn host, Roski, the bald and bearded one.
Yeah, that's your boy E.
Oh, it's like when the music is right, it almost just makes you want to just get into a zone. You know what I'm saying? But who else is here with us?
I'm here, Tony. That's right.
Tony T.
It's a whole new season.
Episode 101.
Like the Dalmatians.
Oh my God, man!
You got an episode now for each Dalmatian.
You know what? Well, we don't have Dalmatians, but we do have Shar-Peis.
We got Shar-Peis,
and they're really beautiful. So, how the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, I want to talk about that intro real quick, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, that song, I never heard it before. And that was like a hell of a way to serenade a fuck you, man. I dig it.
You like that?
I dug that shit.
Because, like, the whole, like, not even, like, the week, but just, like, how I've just been feeling since the last time that I sat in this chair, and felt a little petty. It's like, you got to be little petty. You got to be little petty. But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, things call for certain things. Like I said, welcome to episode 101 of Stats and Facts. I am your loving, caring, forgiving. I can't call myself humble, so I won't do that. But I'm still dad of the year. I'm gonna be that. Let me check. Okay, you okay with me saying that?
What? I ain't got nothing to say.
Face checks.
Hey, bro.
Just make sure everybody's good. So yeah, it has been an adventure. I like the way Tony T went into just hearing that episode 101 for the first time, and he let y'all know, like, hey, this is a new season.
It's a whole new season.
This is like a damn, like we can't take season breaks. I couldn't imagine stopping doing this for like 2 months and they're like, okay, guys, let's tap back into it. Like, no, like this podcast and shit is something that you really should just do all the time. Shout out to the people that are falling through.
Shout out.
Episode 100 was epic in its own right. I'm just to get past that, and we're gonna move forward. It didn't go exactly how I wanted to, but shit, when does shit ever go exactly how you want it to go? So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, and bitch, bye. So we got a gang of topics that I got over there, and I got them laying down very unprofessionally, so we can't even see them. And I think we have. I want to start with this because y'all gonna have to fill me in. This all goes back in my mind because of what Cat did, and it was just like, wait a minute, and he kind of just like, you ever had something that just kind of smelled just a little bit around you, and it's like, okay, we can deal with that. I know that's there. Not to say that we're overlooking things in our homes that smell, but when something really, really smell, it's a bigger it's like, okay, we can't ignore this anymore. Jaguar Wright dropped 3 sets with I don't know who she was sitting down with because I'm not really familiar with like a lot of media outlets because there's a lot of them out there. And shout out to y'all. Shout out to you if you're out there creating your own content. If you're a photographer, if you take pictures, you know what I'm saying? If you're writing poetry and you're just putting words to paper, you know what I'm saying? It's not just that, you know what I'm saying? We're all creative in our own right. And shout out to the really, really, really creative people out there. But she's sat down with somebody 3 times and she is going there.
She's letting it all out.
Yeah. She going
I think
she's spilling the juice.
I think that for the last, maybe like the last 3 months, we've been stuck in the same potting cycle. Like we've been potting regularly, right? And I just feel like the same news keeps coming right back around the washing machine. We're just like, okay, I thought we were gonna talk about that and move along. Like this Diddy stuff, it's not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Seems like it's here to stay.
It's deeper. It's going deeper and deeper
and
deeper and deeper. Every week is like another revelation.
I realized that I did have some type of attachment to those people, and I looked at them a certain way, and I didn't realize I looked at them a certain way. It's like the Diddy stuff is just like, bruh, like they were making big fun of you for dancing. And everybody was like, no, leave him alone. He's just the dancing guy. Like, the big thug and Suge Knight comes at him like, hey, you don't want them niggas dancing in the videos. And we all we looked at him different. And as far as just he not a thug. And these Harlem, Bronx, wherever, no disrespect to the boroughs, they just want to dance. You know what I'm saying? So it took away, I think people put their guards down with people like that. I think we just we're not going to think of them in certain lights. It's like, no, he just want to dance. Like Chris Brown going what he went through, but he's still trying to get past one infamous night in his life. You know what I'm saying? If don't nobody know what that's like, boy, I'm trying to tell you.
I mean, and even that night has been brought back into the whole.
That's what I'm saying.
Circle of this,
and that's what I'm saying. Oh, and we didn't even talk about Chris Brown and Quavo last week.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. We should have got to that, but it's just been a lot of just like beef. It's just been a lot of people getting shit off their chest. I am a meat and potatoes type guy. No pun intended. Do y'all believe Jaguar Wright? Like I know it's a lot of heavy stuff, but is it just like maybe a little bit of what she's saying is true? She got a point. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like, she ain't telling the truth, but she do got a point.
Well, since how she's come out years ago with information that we are now sort of getting confirmation of, as things are being openly revealed, it only bolsters the fact that what she is claiming is a probable thing that happened. And when you see her retell the stories, there's a level of authenticity when certain people are recalling an experience that they lived through. When they're telling a story, I don't know, certain details hit a certain way when you retell a story. And every time she retells those stories, it's like she always has a viewpoint that I'm later corroborated.
I'm not really like 100% familiar with her, but what type of position did she have that may have made her privileged to some of the things that she's alleging?
So she initially started as like a neo soul artist, and from her original retelling, she became popular for talking a lot about how artists like Jill Scott were initially put out to take her space in the world, and Jill Scott became.
Shout out to Jill Scott.
Yeah,
Jill Scott is awesome. I don't think there was anybody out there that was Jill Scott before her.
And that's what Jaguar Wright, technically, she was making that type of music, and she felt like she had went against the industry years ago and was therefore replaced by artists like Jill Scott.
You remember when our big sis got us hit to Jill Scott?
Oh yeah.
Remember that day? She used to bang that good music.
So check this out. Just to add on to Jaguar Wright's resume, a lot of the songs, you know what I mean, that everybody know and love from Jay-Z, people don't even realize that she was the vocals behind a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where her knowledge comes from. Like she was in that circle.
In the beginning of all of those careers starting.
Yeah, she was in that circle. So the thing is you look at the two dynamics of the situation. You look at she was in that circle, but you got to also look at the fact of, she may be trying to get her name acknowledged again. So you got to really dig into all of this, in my opinion. But if you're asking me, man, like I already know what time it is when you at that level. When you at that level and you got a bunch of stuff going on and a bunch of stuff that's just coming at you. Like I don't put none of it past people, man. Like when the average person, the stuff that the average person get, a superstar gets that much more. And so, like, everybody, I don't care what it is, man. You eat chocolate cake every day, you're going to get tired of chocolate cake. So you're going to want to try something different. And once everything that's normal is old to you, you're going to want to try something different. And so, yeah, these stories that Jaguar Wright is talking about, I believe, I'm going to say at least a good 85% of it is probably true.
Yeah, man. And another thing is like, why would you say some of these things about people in general? You know what I'm saying?
That's also what gives validity. Like what he said, if you perceive that someone is saying 85% of something truthfully, what's the point of even adding another 15% of lies? The 85 is crazy enough. So it's sort of like, yeah, this is the truth. It's like, oh, she got the color of the car wrong. No, I didn't kidnap nobody in no green car. Right. It's like, oh, okay, but
you did kidnap.
But you kidnapped somebody. Because that's just like everyone's rebuttal when they're coming back from all these stories. The person is always, I didn't.
They got to try to call out.
Yeah, they want to call
a minor detail that they want to show that they're detailed in there.
It's the game of
telephone comedy.
It's the game of telephone, man.
I didn't tell the joke that wasn't the same joke. I was talking about.
I don't think it's
being in
telephone.
space.
I think it's people, me and you, looking at the same exact thing, and me saying, "Hey, this is some bullshit," and then you saying, "Well," and then you call out the one little flaw of the video.
Well, you might. There's a thing. People might perceive things differently. So there is that. People might perceive things differently. But at the end of the day, I feel like once you add time in, into individual perspective and experiences, now you're talking about whether this person is trying to embellish the story to make it seem like it's more than what it was, because the original story might not even seem that interesting. So they want to embellish the story for whatever reason. So it might be a little bit of an embellishment there, just because everybody know how the world works today. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit of an embellishment in it, but at the end of the day, do I think that half the stuff that she's saying is false? Hell no. And we'll get deeper into that, once we get deeper into the show, because we got some other topics that hit on that too.
Yeah, that's a good segue too. That cone got me off, my bad. Not to just dwell on that, but we've been seeing a lot of beef. So it kind of goes with the Cat Williams thing. It's like all the beef is going on. Everybody's, going at people's heads, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But for me, we're learning through all of this that the rap industry, what you call him, Tony? Luther Grains?
Lucian,
he said.
I know, but ain't Satan Luther too?
No, Lucifer.
Oh man, my bad. I ain't even call Luther. But that's close enough. Shit, I wouldn't want to be Luther either. Shit, y'all, you gonna mistake me calling me the devil? Lucifer.
Yeah, it's weird that everything in the news is so primed for people. It's like everything in the news right now is so primed for people to feel as if we're in a prophetic time. When you put the cicadas being released with the earthquake in Taiwan and the pandemic we went through and now the revelation of all these stars, but so much of it we talked about before, so much of it is a realization that all these things already existed, they already were around, we just didn't pay attention, and or people were lying because of the world that we said they had to inhabit. So we're now coming into a world where more people can inhabit an authentic life, but it makes everyone who's still in that old world, it makes all their stories seem very weird now to a world that's becoming more okay with the truth. When you find out all these quote unquote secrets, because with a lot of it, aside from the things that are involving the trafficking of people and the overt, use of illicit substances to make people feel a certain way and then to abuse people, those are horrible, heinous acts. But a part of the outrage is also the sexuality of the people involved. And that outrage really comes from the world in which, it's the fact that they perpetuated all these ideas that this is what you're supposed to be, and then we're finding out a truth that's counter to that. And that's where everyone is sort of like, are you bamboozling me? Or are you pulling it?
Yeah, it's like you're telling me Santa Claus, some things about Santa Claus, because maybe,
And we talked about it before. I think our generation is growing up now, and we have to realize that the kids we were around are now the adults that we are around, which means that the adults that we saw when we were kids used to be like the kids we were around too. So what I'm saying about it, that is, it's been known in all history that in high school, there are a lot of queer kids in the drama class. So the queer kids are on all these plays, But then when we look in Hollywood and we look at movies, we imagine none of them are queer, the greatest of the actors. But we experienced going to school knowing that it was the queer kids in our school who were the best actors in the place. It's like we're have a disconnection. Like, what happens when that kid grows up? Well, they're probably going to become a star and they're going to move somewhere else where they aren't known. And many of them have assumed lives of quote unquote mainstream American straight culture. But they're the same kid that we knew existed when we were kids and we were growing up.
Mm.
And we're somehow the detachment of realizing that, oh yeah, it's not. So many people make it seem like people are becoming this way, as opposed to realizing, no, the people were always this way. The world is now being open to this being everywhere.
At the end of the day, man, the way I see all of this,
that right there is a whole other conversation too. And as far as everybody being okay with it being everywhere, because I do think that things are being over sexualized in the world. I would prefer if my kid at her young age didn't see people even like other than her mom and dad just overtly kissing. But when we bring in a mixture of, okay, well, maybe she only sees this when she's at home, and now like, oh, what is that? And not that is wrong, but now that has been introduced to her mind at a very young age. And it can just be as simple as watching ABC, CBS, or anything. It's just the next Gap commercial that you see. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see something that someone of a certain age may question. That's the part from what you just said that kind of stuck with me. It's just that the comfort of it being everywhere, there has to be a
balance.
A balance. And a balance is a great word, because a line in the sand kind of is asking for demands, you know.
And in a free world, you can't do that, because one day that line is going to cross your life in something. And that's the reality of hard. So
but I think anybody that has kids and the Gap commercial comes on where there's two women kissing, you know, it's gonna every household, you know what I'm saying? Every parent is not as aware as we are, you know what I'm saying? Or as you view it as an uncle, you know what I'm saying, to your nieces, to your niece and your nephew. But it's just those are the moments that we got to pay attention to, and we have to say, like, okay, the world is different now. Maybe that conversation happens a little earlier, you know, but that conversation has to happen. And maybe as a parent, I'm not ready for that. You're 10,
and you think back, the past generation did not have to have that at all, because there would never exist anything that would have brought that into the conversation.
So here's where I stand with it. You know, I dig deep into, you know, situations like this. I'm not trying to go long-winded on it, but the end of my synopsis is that you know, people aren't okay with change. I think that's the biggest piece of it. You know, a lot of people don't like change. And, you know, the United States, I can't say the world, but the United States is in a place where we encourage change. A lot of people may not like it, but the mass majority of the United States public encourages change. Me personally, I encourage change, because I think change it influences the United States to be the best that we've ever been. You know, I don't think we've gotten this far in the world that we've gotten in this stage without embracing change, embracing different cultures, embracing different attitudes. And to add to that, you know, and Brad, to add to everything that the United States has done and embracing change, there are certain things about humanity that the United States has always tried to downplay, always tried to cover up, always tried to act like didn't exist. And this stuff has always existed, man. You know, we're talking about things now as if they never existed in the past. You know, you go back to ancient Greek society. You know, you go back to
I don't.
you know,
For me, I'm not looking at it like that. But I get what you're saying. Like the masses are looking at it like, oh, this shouldn't be put on the forefront.
no, it's
Maybe,
not that.
maybe.
I'm not saying that it shouldn't be put on the forefront. I'm not saying that this isn't a topic of this discussion. That's not what I'm saying. What
All
I'm
right.
what I'm saying is that
How far are we from openly gay president?
like it's to me. See,
How far? Just come on. Just give
no.
me a
So
random,
no,
random.
no. I wanna answer that with a different response
My answer
because.
is 40 years.
So you're saying you give it 40 years before openly gay president.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I say I don't care.
No. But I'm just saying.
Why does it matter?
No,
Is where I'm at with it.
Because that would kind of be a pace setter for. That'd be like
No, but
that'd be the first. That'd be like the first black president. It's like it's giving me like a time. It's like, oh, people are watching racism from their seats.
and I will intercede and say technically, you both just said the right and perfect answer because it answers exactly the question, or it answers what we're proposing, and that's the idea of change. The point is, changes are coming because change always happens.
Right.
The reason it can happen even in 40 years, because that is actually not far. The reason it can happen even in 40 years is because I see next to me what I consider a traditionally minded person who values tradition, who I don't think in any way of as outside the box of what people think of as, like, I think of Eric and it's like he has a lot of combinations that a lot of other people wouldn't have.
I thought he was taking this from a military standpoint.
And that's my point. It's like most people don't associate black people with being nationalistic. Mm-hmm. Most people don't associate black people with being authoritative in a nuclear sense. Not, and I'm saying in the traditional sense of, I like, formal tradition. And when you add the fact of being a traditional person with what he just said of his mentality of accepting that the world is changing, that has nothing to do with his feeling of tradition that he upholds, because it never says his tradition can exist. And I think more people are going to come to realize that, yeah, you know what? I have never slept with any of my neighbors ever. So it does not matter what my neighbors do when this, because I've never,
exactly.
It's never mattered. If I live next door to straight neighbors, I haven't slept with them. Yeah. And if I live next door to gay neighbors, I'm still not going to sleep with them because guess what? No one's inviting me to.
To this day, you just hit it on the point. To this day, I judge people on their character, their attitude, how they treat other people, how they treat their family,
how they smell.
Yeah. And if you stink, I'm not fucking with you. But I never cared, not one time, who you have sexual experiences with. Not one time. I don't care who you have sex with. I don't care. Why does that even matter to me? Do we ever go out here in public and say, yeah, I sleep with women? Is that something we have to openly say? It's not. Simply because people automatically think that. But at the end of the day, who cares who you sleeping with? What you doing in your house, I don't give a damn about.
Yeah, that's the reason we have doors and locks and all that good stuff. But
and that mentality is becoming more normal. And I think that's the thing that, in the healthy way, shows change, and not the idea of change equals, oh my God, people naked on my screen. Because guess what? Gay people and straight people who are traditionally minded both feel the same way when it comes to nudity being thrown on TV.
Yeah.
Just like straight people who are way, 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 way liberal and gay people who are way, way, way liberal are okay with seeing more nudity on TV. The point is that both exist, neither defines the category, because there are freaky straight people, and there are freaky gay people, and there are boring ass gay people, and there are boring ass straight people.
No. Just think about it.
More people are understanding that
So,
as they're realizing that oh, my cousin is down. Oh yeah, my brother is.
Just so we can kind of flip this pancake real quick. I'm raising kids, and it's like my perspective on it. It's like I really feel like wondering, like, how do deadbeat fathers like look at shit that they don't. They just everything is like it's like nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you ever think about that?
So
Like for real.
No,
like,
no,
I didn't hear the question.
Like how deadbeat fathers view like stuff that would like be that would affect their kids. So then I made a joke and I said that they don't. Yeah, but I'm just saying
deadbeat
like
fathers,
how they live. It's just like they act like their kids don't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, deadbeat fathers ain't got shit to say.
What I'm just playfully bringing up is that being a parent, I'm locked in to a mode of being a good parent and making sure that I can, you know what I'm saying, be a healthy example, you know what I'm saying, be a healthy presence, you know what I'm saying, just for my kids. But yeah, it's very important. It's very important to me.
And I think it's okay to say that it is difficult nowadays as a parent when some subjects are sort of introduced at times in which you may not mentally be prepared for all the intricacies that would go into answering.
Can you say mentally or physically? Because the minute that happens, I got beads of sweat. I'm clammy hands. I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, man.
It's not gonna.
So listen, man. Without going into
parenting in 2024.
Listen, without going into so much detail, you know, I want to say this. You know, first of all, I've been through situations.
You got two girls too.
I got two girls, man.
Shout out to the daughters and the sons.
Yes, love my daughters to death, man. But I want to say this, man. Like, you know, I don't know what y'all went through. I don't know what y'all went through in your adolescent lives. But I want to say that every kid fights with their parents on the person that they want to be. And, you know, their parents have an idea of what they want their kids to be. And they fight their kids tooth and nail to try to make their kids who they want them to be. At some point, you know, we got to become that generation. And that's what I inspire to be. You know, and I'm not going to say that my generation is the only one to do it. There's been past people within certain generations that understood that.
It's more. There are more now.
There are more now. But, you know, there have been past people that supported their kids, and no matter what they wanted to do. And, you know, support your kids no matter what. If it's going, you know, I always tell my daughters this. I'm like, listen, man, I don't care what it is you want to do. You better be the best at it. You know, hey, man, you want to be, listen, you want to be a movie star, you better strive to be the best. You want to be, you want to be a doctor, yo, learn how to do some great shit.
Yeah.
You want to be a damn drug dealer? Hey, you better be a motherfucking kingpin out this motherfucker. I don't give a goddamn what secret. Look, I don't care what it is you want to do. All I care is that you be the best at it. You know? And that's the thing about it, man. It's like, listen, man, it's like, yo, whatever my kids decide to do in their life, man, unless that jump just sound like completely crazy, and I'm just like, yo, you might want to decide a different path. But if they got a plan, they got a plan to action, and they headed towards that direction, I'm supporting them. I don't care what it is. And then look, listen, whatever your sexual preference is, like, hey man, look, I ain't about that life. Look, that's what you want to do that on your own time. You come over here to cookouts, you come over here to family reunions, conduct yourselves accordingly. Cause I ain't about that life. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, hey man, look, I'm supporting you no matter what. You my baby girl, and you got my support no matter what. And I think more parents need to do that, you know?
Yeah, that's like Tony said, man. It's with everything just changing, and being a parent, I think it's just it's very challenging. It is. And shout out to the parents that are out there. Shout out to the subscribers that are parents. We definitely appreciate y'all tapping in.
Yeah, I you know what? And it's funny because in that 40-year jump in the future, everything non-criminal that these stories with Jaguar Wright and the NBA and all these background, all those stories become no story at all. They literally just become, so people, yeah, we know people have sex. That's just people just have sex. Period.
Yeah, I wanted to not to make like back-to-back episodes about that, but I wanted to really go like kind of understand that that clip that we played earlier. So we'll probably take this probably for like another 5-6 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But any crazy stories in the news? You know what I'm saying? That y'all been seeing? Anything grinding your gears? Anything you want to get off your chest?
I think it's been funny how much it's been becoming common for most of the most interesting news to be online news, and now when you watch regular news, it just feels so real surface.
Oh, speaking of real news, I had an accident happen right in the very next lane. This is probably actually probably it's the second time it happened, but it's not been close in like range to each other. But basically, I was ready to make my left hand turn, so I was sitting in the left hand lane. This is a 2-lane street, and as I'm sitting there, I see a car coming up. He throws on his blinker to turn this way, and I can see a car on my right side coming up who has the right of way. And y'all probably heard a few episodes before. I used to hit the horn and somebody get over on somebody, and I could save an accident. And this one I couldn't. And he hit him. And when it was about to happen, I just braced myself because I'm right there. And I got out and I literally wanted to take a picture, but I caught myself and I realized that I'm not one of the people that go to recording stuff and go to when something bad has happened. Yeah, it crossed my mind, and I didn't even reach in my pocket. And I said, no, how does that look? It's kids in this van. And they're getting out and they're crying and they can't hear, their ears are ringing. And I'm over here taking a picture and I'm gonna drive off with my car clean. But for the story's sake, that close. And that because I was like, and he hit him, boom, and the car that was next to me started spinning. And he did a little 180 real quick, and I'm like, oh, there he goes, coming back around. And he didn't come in contact with me, but my dash cam sucks.
So are you gonna put that on the news then?
Oh man, you know what? In the moment, I realized that I'm getting better with traumatic things. I remember I told you about the head-on collision that happened one lane to my left. About probably that's when we was going to get old Chubbers. That day we got him. That was very traumatic. That brought me to tears that day.
Was that the engine fire day?
No, that wasn't us. It was another vehicle. It was a little bit rainy, and dude took off from the light. And as we were going, he started losing control. And I looked over, and he was looking like this, but we both supposed to be looking like that. I just turned my head to look at you, and his car did like that, and then he straightened up. And by that time, he was in the middle lane, but he was doing so much this and that, the other cars couldn't guess because he had already crossed. He did like this like 2 or 3 times, and
I want there to be like a whole bunch of lines and schematics going over our heads.
No, and he hit them, and by the time he straightened up, it was one lane over for me, and it happened parallel. I was adjacent to it, so we were like car to car, and I was just here, so it's just like. Bang!
Let me ask you a question, man.
Sound.
I want to ask you this question and see if it made me an asshole or not, man. So,
all right, keep in mind we got about 6 minutes.
It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be a quick question, man. I can respond how y'all want to respond. I'm going to work. It's like 4:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Car gets off the highway. I'm getting off the highway right behind him. Swerving. I don't know what he got going on. High on something. I don't know. Maybe drunk. But he's swerving for no reason. I'm not even understanding why he's swerving. Hits the curb. As he hits the curb, he catches the wheel, but he catches the wheel late. Try to recorrect. Car flips over on top of itself. And I saw all of this.
You kept going.
I was like, I gotta get to work.
Oh yeah, you gotta get to work. I already knew what you were getting to. At that point, I have to get to work.
But it was other traffic and cars out there.
It was a couple cars behind me that seen what going on.
Do I put that on them?
What? I'm not gonna say you put it on them.
Nah, I did get out.
I think the onus to be a reporter is only in matters which you are the only. Like if he said, I went to work at 3 a.m. and we were the only 2 on a pitch black road, call 911, make sure they know something happened behind me. Even if you don't feel like I can't get out and save nobody's life, blah blah blah. But if I'm in traffic and there is an incident like that, and I'm in other cars, not even lots, but like regular traffic is happening, everyone's calling.
Yeah.
I don't want to be another phone call on top of the phone call on top of the phone.
We seen that happen.
And then be late with that.
Yeah, it wasn't a bunch of them out there though. It might have been one other car behind me. It might have been one other car, and like I said, the situation happened.
Maybe it was nobody.
It might have been nobody. I don't know.
No, we did. We experienced that. You know what? It is what it is with that. But as far as flooding 911, we experienced that. We seen an accident, and as we were calling, we realized there were 5 other people calling from the same spot. So they have to go through the whole, okay, now it's numerous reports, it's just levels and all this other stuff. So that is a real thing.
But quickly, I will say to what he just brought up then, it brings up the next question of, at what point do we realize we are responding to living in a world with 8 billion people? And therefore, when it comes to the other person's life, when you know how complex each individual life is, we have no time to address 8 billion lives.
Hey man, it was a residential area, man. Somebody's house is around it. Shit.
Hey, I know what? I guess we learned about people in real time, y'all.
We do.
This has been fun.
Sure has.
By the way, this is the way I like to end my episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I say, by the way, this is the way I like to end my episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Andrea and Steve's son. That's Andrea and Steve's son.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just your boy E. I'm their cousin.
Man, shout out to mom, bro.
Yeah, moms.
You gotta say her name. Say her name.
Hey,
Say
you
her
want me to
name.
say Pat, you know?
That's it, Mama Pat.
Yes.
Shout out Mama Pat. All the Mama Pats in the world.
Hey, remember, cleanliness travels like defense. if you're gonna do something, make sure that you love it. Shout out to Buddha Vibes for these beats. Thank you for putting free in front of them on your YouTube music so that we can use them and people can enjoy them. I've wrote a few songs, but I'm not gonna hear them. You're not gonna hear them today. Like I said, remember, cleanliness. Travels like defense. Maybe pack a cone instead of rolling a blunt because it is better for your lungs. And hold up. Sorry, y'all. I'm really. Oh man, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Hey y'all.
No, I gotta go. You better be happy I'm too fat to move. I gotta go. I'm leaving. I'm touching shit. Oh, you might feel.
Hey.
Bye, y'all.
Fuck you. Hey, and spin that motherfucker too.
Hey, y'all. Like I said, be good or be good at it. Bye, y'all. That was fun, y'all.
That was fun.
Anybody want to fuck with the lights? Just to see if we can top the other shit.
Fuck with the lights. What do you mean? What are the lights?
Why am I going over here?
Cut that shit off.
Yeah, Mike.
No. Normally the camera